You're good.
You got him 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we continue our battlefield race journey with the PRL. We are coming to you live from Texas Motor Speedway for round 11 of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by HighTorqueTexas.com and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com. I am a commentator, Sean Zulu. I am joined by my good friend and producer Dave Everly, and also a very special guest tonight, former driver here and admin eye in the sky here, the 9 of Austin Moore. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, Sean. How are you?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. And how are you, Dave?
Doing good, Sean. Ready to go green flag racing here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh, 10-4. Well, once again, we are here at Texas. I'm going to be going over the race details here tonight. How we do have a 76 degree Fahrenheit air temperature, clear skies, track temp of 83 degrees Fahrenheit. And I have seen a lot of drivers sideways getting very loose on the entrance to turn 3. And as usual, the drivers do have a 60% fuel limit. That is 60%. For a 125 lap race, so that gives us a 2 to 3 green flag pit stops, or green flag, I should say, required pit stops, in order for the drivers to be able to make it the length of the race here tonight. Once again, 125 laps. Well, going over our current season standings, we do have James O'Brien still leading in points, Corey Blevins still second in points, Jeffrey Ford still third, Marquero Murphy going from 6th place to 4th place in points, right behind Jeffrey Ford. The 60 Colton Lane still 5th in points. The 14 of Pody Johnson going from 9th place to 6th this week. The 54 of Lance Marsh going from 8th place to 7th. Jason Ashby going from 7th place to 8th. Dallas Pataska being bumped down to 9th place from 4th place, and we have missed Dallas Pataska for the last couple of races, but we do hope that he's doing well and look forward to his return hopefully next week for the final race of the season. And Jean-Francois Champagne still rounding up the top 10 in points. Well, going over the points, the top 10 drivers points teams, we do have James O'Brien still Underdog Motorsports, Corey Blevins Flat Out Motorsports, Ford Lane Motorsports with Jeffrey Ford, Flat Out Motorsports with Marquero Murphy, Ford Lane Motorsports with Colton Lane, Big D's Racing, Pody Johnson, Big D's Racing, Lance Marsh, both 6th and 7th in points, Wrangler Motorsports 8th, that's going to be Jason Ashby with Wrangler, Dallas Pataska DAMP Motorsports, and Jacques Francois with Champs with Mercy. Well, going over last week's race results here, the top 10 at Auto Club Speedway for the Top Gun Motorcycle Training 100. We did have Marquero Murphy bring it home for his second win of the season. James O'Brien, Underdog Motorsports here, came out 2nd place. We have Big D's Racing, Pody Johnson came out 3rd. Flat Out Motorsports' own Corey Blevins came out 4th. Wrangler Motorsports, Stephen Aguiar 5th. Voltage Racing, Derek Robertson came out 6th. Colton Lane, Ford Lane Motorsports came out 7th. Jacques-Francois Champagne, Champs with Mercy came out 8th. 54 Lance Marsh, Big D's Racing came out 9th. And C&E Motorsports with Craig Hawkins did round up that top 10 in last week's race at Auto Club Speedway. But we are shifting gears once again, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway for 125 laps. Round number 11 here, race 11 of a 12-race season. Next week's race does round up or end the season. So it's going to make things very interesting. The drivers here tonight will be trying their best to advance their spots so they can be able to be in the best spot possible before next week's race. And so far on the pole, we do have the 23 of Craig Hawkins taking the pole with 27.229. The 8 of Stephen Aguiar, 2nd, right behind Craig Hawkins. The 5, Jason Ashby, 3rd. 54, Lance Marsh, 4th. 88, James O'Brien, 5th. 813 Mike Taylor 6th, 24 of Corey Blevins 7th, 654 Josh Conker back after a long time of not racing here, being shown 8th. Good to see you, Josh Conker. The 60 of Colton Lane 9th, and he will be the last car to qualify here tonight. The 6 of Stephen Mattox here starting in 10th place and giving us rounding up the top 10 48, Markel Murphy 11th. The 4 of Sammy Holmes as well, returning driver here after being deployed overseas. Great to see you back in one piece, Sammy Holmes. We'll be getting a word with Sammy Holmes here before the race is over. 93, Patrick Mercier 13th. Jean-Francois Champagne 14th. The 3, Dale Robertson 15th. 28 of Eric Roberts 16th. The 9 of Austin Moore 17th. Oh, well, Austin Moore is up in the booth with us, and he is an eye in the sky, an admin. 41, Chris Perez, 17th, and 78 of Ronald McManus in the 18th place position. That gives us 18 drivers starting tonight's race here at Texas Motor Speedway for 125 laps, 60% fuel limit, going green for the first time. This time by, we do have 2 drivers, 2 teammates here, starting right next to each other. That's going to be the 5 of Jason Ashby and the 8 of Steven Aguiar.
It is interesting that Jason and Steven on the front row, they are teammates, and this week is a open setup since iRacing wasn't able to make a setup after the new build. So they probably worked together on a good solid setup, and I'd look for them to be the top 5 the whole race today.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, these 2 drivers were very, very fast in practice. So, yep, they do have a lot to offer here in terms of competition. And I did notice a lot of loose machines out there in practice there, Austin. It's going to be interesting to see as well how much dirt tracking we can see tonight before the race ends.
I'm sure there'll be a lot. The good thing about Not the good thing, I mean, one thing about Texas is coming out of 2, you have to control yourself. You know, that wall comes out quick, so if the wall doesn't come out quick, you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yep, that wall does sneak up on these drivers. And we are now green for the first time, this time by the 5 of Ashby. Was trying to overtake the 23 of Craig Hawkins, but backs off, still getting up to speed here. The 8 of Steven Aguiar on the outside line, gets freight trained. That's going to be by the 88 of James O'Brien. 24, Corey Blevins trying to occupy the inside line here of the 8 of Aguiar entering turn 3. And yep, that's very true right there, Austin. Yeah, turn 2 does really claim a lot of victims before the race is over. So fingers crossed, these drivers won't fall victim to that wall. And here we do have a 6.54 of Josh Conker trying to freight train the 8 of Aguiar. 8 of Aguiar going from 2nd place here to 5th place and dropping. And just pretty much trying to catch a groove. So hopefully he'll be able to get up to speed here before too long. That's 60 of Carlton Lane right now, trying to challenge the 8 of Aguiar on the inside line. The 6 of Mattox trying to occupy the outside, pushing the 8 of Aguiar past 60 of Carlton Lane. And they do succeed. And for the back of the pack, we do have a driver up there in the wall. That's 54 of Lance Marsh. Looks like he did smack the wall off turn 4. And will lose a lot of time, gain some right side damage because of that contact. And he does have a machine approaching his rear end. It's the 41 of Chris Perez. Chris Perez always keeping low profile and pouncing in the later stage.
Yeah, it looks like Lane's just went to look for the outside and that wall snuck out and just got his right side. Hopefully be able to go in and get that damage fixed on it. Hopefully be able to drive it around until the first pit stop and he can get his damage fixed.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, with that, he's most likely hoping to have a caution, Austin, because that would be, then he would have a lot of time for his pit crew to work on that machine so he can be able to still stay competitive. But so far, it seems to not be affecting him as bad as it might look. And he is being able to keep the 41 of Chris Perez behind him at a very safe distance. So he doesn't have too much pressure so far, just pretty much getting used to the track as we speak. And for the back up front, the 4 of Sammy Holmes here trying to challenge the 3 of Dale Robertson. At the same time, Robertson being challenged by the 93 of Patrick Mercier. The 4 of Sammy Holmes drifts high, 13 of Jefferson at the inside here. Versus start finish line for the 11th place position. The 4 of Sammy Holmes stays high. Let the 13 of Jean-Francois by no harm. Then the 13 of Jefferson right now on the move, trying to make up as much time as he can here, while he can, before the tires are gone.
Yeah, take a look who's right behind him, Sean. The 48. 48 of Markel Murphy riding right there as he is looking to the inside of Sammy Holmes. We know that he has been raising here in the point standing, so he knows every point matters as he is wanting to get up here, get around James O'Brien, and try to close in as we've only got one more race after this race to decide this season's champion.
Oh, that's absolutely right, Dave. And yeah, 48 Markel Murphy having his second win last week at Auto Club Speedway for the Top Gun Motorcycle Training 100. And right now he is trying to have a third win. And so far, the drivers who have the most wins only have 2 wins in their belts. And 48 Markel being one of those drivers here trying to break that tie so he can have the most wins this season or after tonight's race. And so far he is challenging the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne. Once again, the 48 of Markel Murphy is known by the Dre Broadcasting Network booth as the fastest driver in the long run. And Dave, this would be a very great track for that because it is a very high-speed track at the same time, a driver's track.
Yeah, taking a look at their speeds, they're coming into the turns at 190 mile an hour, just getting that machine slowed down to right about 178 to 180 here through the turns, as we see the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne on the inside there of the 3 machine, almost 3 wide, but he is going to take it. He is going to take 2 positions. He is going to pass the 3 of Dale Robertson, and that is the 8 of Stephen Aguilar.
Yeah, but the 48 of Murphy will try and do the exact same thing for the line of the 3 of Robertson past the 8 of Aguilar, who will stay high to let these guys buy no harm there. And that bumps Stephen down to the 12th place position. But going back up front, Dave, the 23 of Craig Hawkins has increased his lead to 0.3 of a second against or ahead of the 2nd place driver, the 5 of Jason Ashby. Jason Ashby right now trying to catch up to him, but he does have somebody in his rearview mirror, Dave, the 88 of James O'Brien, a very big threat.
Yeah, taking a look here, it looks like the 88 of James O'Brien's got a special paint scheme for tonight. He's got a red, white, and blue Alaxta car. Chevy Camaro looks pretty good. Taking a look at the car behind him as well, the 24 of Corey Blevins is also sporting the red, white, and blue here for the 4th of July weekend celebration.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very well-dressed machines here for the Texas Motor Speedway race for round number 11 of 12. And Dave, the 5 of Ashby, pouncing on the 23 of Craig Hawkins. Well, Austin, you were very absolutely right. That 5 of Jason Ashby is a very big threat tonight.
Yeah, he is a big threat. It's interesting to see how different between 2 teammates. It's, they both start on the front row, and the 8 of Steven Aguilar has just been falling and falling ever since. I wondered if he tweaked with the setup at all, and it didn't work. And he's going to have to go in on this next caution and hopefully, or this next pit stop rather, hopefully get that changed to get him back up to the front with his teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. He will want to be as close to his teammate as possible here. It's very good for the team standings. And speaking of those team standings, I'm glad you brought that up. We do have Flat Out Motorsports in the lead here. Ford Lane Motorsports second. Big D's Racing 13 points. Wrangler Motorsports 4th. Misfit Motorsports 5th. DAMP Motorsports 6th. Underdog Motorsports 7th. Champs with Mercy with Jean-Francois 8th in points. C&E Motorsports Craig Hawkins in 9th. Jet Mechanic Motorsports 10th in points. DM Racing Team 11th. LIT or Lit Motorsports 12th in points. Big Block Sim Race Team 13th. QC Motorsports 14th. Gamer Glove Sim Team 15th. And Voltage Racing 16th. And rounding up all the teams that we have here, total of 16 teams in this season. Yep, so that will be beneficial for their team the closer they can finish towards the end of the race here tonight. And for the back of the pack, we do have the 48 of Murphy here. Oh, goes sideways off turn 4. He almost overcorrected, was able to smack on that brake and get it under control. But the 93 of Mercy will benefit from the mistake of the 48 of Murphy and gets around him here for the 8th place spot. But 48 puts it down the floor, tries to get past the 93 of Mercia, who drifts way high off turn 2, gets a slingshot, and the 48 of Murphy goes back down low and tries to set himself up for the entrance to turn 3.
Yeah, iRacing released dirt a couple of months ago, and you didn't think you'd see it on asphalt, but Markel's definitely done some dirt racing. That was a great save by him in turn 4.
Oh, absolutely. That dirt racing did prepare him for tonight's slick racing conditions here with these machines. especially his Chevy Camaro, and he's now being shown right behind the 3 of Dale Robertson, and that will be a position for position number 6. And at the same time, they are trailing the 6 of Steven Mattox, but they are being shown about, let's see, 2 to 3 seconds behind 6 of Mattox. So they do have to up their game in order to catch up to 6 of Mattox, because Mattox as well is a very fast driver and doesn't get the job done.
Another good battle a little bit further back is between the 13 and the 28 of Eric Roberts and Jean-Francois Champagne. Good battle.
Yep, Eric right now trying to set up a 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne for the 11th place position. And Jean-Francois was battling heavily early on in the races on lap number 18. And early on, obviously, the green flag had dropped. He was battling these guys. So, Austin, my guess at this point is that Jean-Francois might have burned up his stuff a little bit.
Yeah, he could have. Another thing I just saw in the chat is Josh Conker's going to make an early pit stop here. Which is going to be interesting. I don't know if that's a fuel strategy or might have burned up his stuff too early, so we'll see him pulling in here shortly.
Now, Austin, you know most of these drivers. What do you think will be about the pit window for these drivers here tonight in Texas?
Pit window tonight is going to be probably in the 30 to 35 lap range for tonight's race. It should be about. That's what at least. I haven't run a full fuel run yet, but Colton and Dale had to run a couple, and they had said it's going to be around the 30-35 mark, depending on how much you draft and how much you have to lift after your tires start wearing off.
Also there, Sean, it looks like Jeffrey Ford is out in the chat, and looks like he thought they were off this week, so he missed tonight's race. That is going to definitely hurt him in the point standing, as he is currently 3rd coming into this race.
Oh, dang. Sorry to hear about that, Jeff. But, Jeff, we are hoping to see you for the final race of the season next week. It will be a wild one. Unfortunately, we have lost one driver tonight. Austin, 654, Josh Conger putting it behind pit wall and retiring early for the night. So, most likely had a rough start. He most likely had some damage. I didn't see any damage on his machine, but he did most likely get collected in something early on and has no choice but to back it off. Yep, and we do have some more viewers in the chat there. We do have OSR Network, Joe White, good to see you, buddy. Timothy Petito, good to see you, and IU Dave as well. Going back up from the 88 of James O'Brien here has a gap of about 1.8 seconds behind the 5 of Jason Ashby. So Jason Ashby has been gaining a lot of time, I should say, increasing the gap in between him and the rest of the field. 2nd place driver, 3rd place driver, 6 of Mattox, 4th place every single lap. And speaking of the 8 of Aguiar here, who we talked about, who was dropping early on in the race, he has now steadied his position in the 8th place spot behind the 3 of Robertson here, and is now riding the outside line, trying to save some tires, setting himself up for the long run.
Yeah, going back to... Oh, I'm sorry. Dave, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're coming here to lap 25 here as the 5 of Jason Ashby crosses the start-finish line, 101 laps remaining. So we are about 5 to 10 laps, according to Austin there, Sean, before we'll start seeing some green flag pit stops, as we have already had Jason Ashby leading 13, Craig Hawkins, who has dropped back into 3rd position, leading 11 laps tonight. So they're kind of taking their time here, getting a feel for the track, but we know is definitely as long as they are out here and the rubber's getting put down, you know, that track's going to get a little slicker and slicker as the race goes on.
Oh, that's absolutely right. And right now, focus further back in the pack, Dave, we have a driver being shown a lap down. 813 Mike Taylor. Looks like Mike did have a rough start. He is being shown. He said it's saying he was on pit road 19 laps ago and had a 5.4 second pit stop. So it looks like he only took gas and nothing else. But that was a very, very early pit stop, and his machine does not have a single scratch on it. So that lets us know he did not go down pit road to get any damage fixed. For that, from the 3 of Robertson right now, challenging 24 of Corey Blevins. for the 5th place position here. Off turn to the 3 of Robertson, tries to look to his inside, but doesn't seem to have it. The 24 of Corey Blevins will shut the door, entering turn 3, and Robertson will try and back it up and set him up all over again.
Yeah, but look who's right behind him, Sean, the 48, Markel Murphy, sitting there in 7th position, just kind of riding, he's actually changing up his lanes here, trying to see what he can do to try to get around here. As the 24 of Corey Blevins is protecting that bottom lane. He is basically telling Dale Robertson, if you want to pass me, you're going to have to do it on the outside.
Oh no, it does look like Ron McManus is pulling in the pits with a blown motor. So we're going to have to go back and look at that.
Well, we are going to pull that up here, see if we can find it here on the Dre Broadcasting Network instant replay here, as we were going to focus on the 78 of Ronald McManus here. Is going to rewind it here. Looks like coming out of turn number 2, he gets into the outside wall, shoots him down into the inside wall, and causes him to blow his motor, but he is going to keep it drifting down below that white line, so the green flag stayed out, and he is going to make his way down on pit road.
Yeah, that turn 2 wall comes out quick if you're not paying attention. I mean, he was running low, but when you run, looks like he entered just a little bit too low. When you enter just a little bit too low, it's going to force you high every time.
Yeah, that was very fortunate indeed for 78 of Ron McManus. Hopefully his pit crew has enough time to work on the machine here. The race is still young. Lap 28 of 125, 95 laps. Well, lap 28 on his part. So I need to get on the game here. Lap 31 for the leaders, 95 laps remaining here. And we've had some green flag pit stops when 3 Quirkins pitting in this time by as we speak with 31 laps on his tires. We had Mark Cameron pit in 1 lap ago. Patrick Mercier pitted in, Jacques-Francois pitted in, and we saw pit stops as early as 27 laps on their tires, namely Patrick Mercier and the 13 of Jacques-Francois Champagne. So if the drivers do continue pitting with this pit cycle of 27 laps on their tanks, that will mean the next pit window for them will be on lap number 54 going to lap 55. But the 5 of Jason Ashby has now increased his lead on over 2 seconds, I should say, against the 88 of James O'Brien for the 2nd place spot. 6 of Steven Mattox being shown 6 seconds behind Jason Ashby. Austin, at this rate, I'm thinking Jason might just lap the whole field.
Yeah, Jason's looking very good. You know, his lap times are looking pretty consistent. He's saving his tires. He's having a great first run so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just gonna take at least another couple more runs here. But you know, James is a great driver. I wouldn't imagine he's not gonna give up a good fight though.
Well, speaking of James O'Brien, he is down on pit road with Steven Maddox, Dale Robertson, Corey Blevins, Colton Lane, and Chris Perez, all down on pit road. As we speak, the 88 of James O'Brien making his way off of pit road.
Yep, and Jason Ashby as well did pit in, and let's see, we only have one more driver left to pit in, the 4 of Sammy Holmes. Sammy Holmes being shown 7th here, going nice and strong, taking over the race lead here, this time by, doesn't give him the race lead, showing him 2nd behind the 5. Jason Ashby, if he stays out one more lap, he should be able to be counted as the new race leader. But Sammy Holmes going on to now 35 laps on his tires, staying low, letting the fastest traffic by. The 28, Eric Roberts gets around him. No harm done there, no threat to the position of the 4 of Sammy Holmes. And Sammy staying out one more lap. That gives him 35 laps on his tires. Yep, and Sammy Holmes does take over the race lead this time by here on lap number 35. And Dave, I believe this gives us our 3rd lead change of the night.
Actually, Sean, it is going to be our 2nd lead change of the night. Here, Sammy Holmes is the leader here coming through turn number 4. Is he going to back it down? No, he is going to stay out. He must have a little bit of fuel saved here, as he is going to go around another lap.
I will say this, Sammy, was gone on deployment helping serve our techniques. I remember racing a couple of, we're halfway through running, he'll just say number 4 pitting. You're like, wait, what? Like, we still have a half a tank left, and he'll make it work, and he'll get himself up to a top 5 by fuel strategy all the time. So he is good with saving fuel and also making good fuel strategies.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of Sammy Holmes, he is now going down pit road as we speak. And this now rounds out our first green flag cycle of pit stops here this time by Sammy Holmes, staying out the longest with 36 laps on his tires here. So we can assume that will be him, or that is him, running the tank dry. The 5 of Jason Ashby takes back that race lead away from the 4 of Sammy Holmes. 88 James O'Brien all over the 5 of Jason Ashby. Before they pitted in, James was being shown about 2.5 to 2.7 seconds behind the 5 of Jason Ashby, but now that has now gone down to less than a second. I guess, let's see, now 0.3 of a second apart. So Dave, the 88 of O'Brien, did have a heck of a pit stop.
Yeah, he made up some time, but as we are currently watching, looks like Jason Ashby's actually starting to pull away from him here as it went from right about 0.3 of a second to 3.5 tenths, almost 4 tenths now. So he is making a little bit of... Oh, he makes contact with the wall, hard in the wall coming out of turn 4. That is going to let the 88 of James O'Brien take over the lead here on lap 39.
Well, that 5 of Jason Ashby hasn't had enough. He will try and look the inside of the 88 of James O'Brien. He tried to move him, but James O'Brien was going nice and strong, had a good power off turn number 2, and the gap will increase here entering turn number 3, but off of 4, the 5 of Jason Ashby. I'm guessing the 5 of Ashby's damage there on the right side just might help tighten that car up. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Some drivers do prefer a loose car, and some do prefer a tighter car. But so far here, not sure what the 5 of Jason Ashby prefers, but he is still going nice and strong, trying to take back what's rightfully his. That race lead away from the 88 of James O'Brien here before the end of lap 40.
Yeah, just seeing right there the 23 of Craig Hawkins get around the 93 of Mercier as he is trying to get caught up, but he is currently being showed right about 2.6 seconds back behind the 5 of Jason Ashby. So he is sitting there comfortably in 3rd place. Patrick Mercier sitting in 4th, and Stephen Maddox rounding out your top 5 right now, Sean.
Oh, most definitely. And Dave, unfortunately, we have lost another driver, 48 of Markel Murphy. Very, very sad to see Markel go this early on in the race. That's very unfortunate indeed. Looks like he had a rough. Oh. Yeah, I just backed it up. He was way too far. I'm not sure we can catch that on replay, but he got loose off turn 4, which did shoot him down pit road speeding. And looks like he decided to park it behind the wall. So that's very unfortunate indeed for Markel Murphy, but he is an amazing driver, knows how to get the job done. We do look forward to seeing him back again for the next race next week at Kentucky Speedway for the honoring those who served 125. And for the back in the pack to the drivers' second matchup tonight, 813 of Mike Taylor is being shown 2 laps down behind the 23 of Craig Hawkins, and he's not going to be overtaking Craig Hawkins to try, and looks like 813 Taylor is trying to get his laps back the hard way and has sustained some right side damage. The last time we last talked about him and checked on him, looks like most likely got claimed by the turn 2 wall. And that's when Craig Hawkins has now put his hammer down to the floor, and he's now increasing the gap in between him and the 813 of Mike Taylor. And also further back in the pack here for 4 of Lance Marsh, still going in front of the caution flies here on lap number 44. We'll back up and see who's going to be involved.
Well, that is going to involve the 8 of Stephen Aguiar and the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne as we happen to catch it live, but we are going to back it up and take a look here, focusing on the 8 and the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne as they were battling it out coming into turn 1 and 2. Some contact made, the 8 of Stephen Aguiar back in first into the outside wall. Heavy damage, but he is able to get it rolling. Everybody gets around him nice and cleanly.
Very unfortunately indeed, and unfortunately the 8 of Aguiar did get the worst end of that deal. He did back it up into the wall. Oh, almost clipped the driver, the driver who was passing by. Very unfortunately indeed once again for every single driver involved here. First caution, lap number 44 of 125, and my guess, Austin, is that a lot of drivers are happy to see the caution.
Yeah, I believe a lot of drivers are happy to see the caution come out. does kind of play a little difference in the tires and fuel, though. It does come out of an odd time here at lap 44, I believe 45. If they do come in and pit now, they might be able to stretch it and make it on 2 more stops. So we'll have to see.
Oh, absolutely. And yep, lap 45. From my calculations I made early on with for the first drivers who were pitting in, who did go down pit road first, Jacques-Francois being one of the drivers on lap 27. We were going to see pit stops on lap number 54 through 60, or laps 54 through 60. And yeah, that was just going to be how many laps from now? About 10 to 12 laps. But yep, everybody down pit road this time by the 8. Steven Aguiar staying out to lead a lap. And the 4 of Sammy Holmes, well, he is staying out, but Sammy Holmes, 8th is Mike Taylor behind the pace car, staying out to get 1 lap back as soon as the lights on the pace car turn off to give us the 1 to go mark. So they are trying to get their laps back, and unfortunately, Austin, they won't be able to go down pit road for some tires.
Yeah, unfortunately not, and tires are a key component here, so they might be really slick down the end of their this run.
Yep, I just wish them the best, and I hope they've been practicing their dirt. And let's see, if we don't go to 1 to green this time by, we will be getting a word in with the 4 of Sammy Holmes. Moment of truth watching that pace car to see if the lights turn off or stay on. Looks like the lights do stay on. We will get an interview in with the 4 of Sammy Holmes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined by the 4 of Sammy Holmes, returning from deployment after a long time of not seeing him. How are you doing tonight, Sammy?
Hey, what's going on, Sean?
Nothing much. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Just trying to feel the car out again. Been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. And how have you been? How's everything going?
Yeah, things are good, Just got back from deployment, so haven't had a lot of seat time yet, but wanted to race tonight, so figured I'd give it a shot.
Oh, 10-4, that is very, very good to see you getting back out here, trying to knock down most of that rust, but you have been doing an amazing job here. We noticed during that green flag run, you did decide to stay out the longest on your tank and your tires with 36 laps. And tell us, how's the racing going? I mean, the racing conditions going, because we've seen some drivers going sideways and some a little bit tight.
Yeah, the car's super tight, especially on turn 2. Obviously, it's the norm here. Tried to free it up a little bit on the first stop, but it's still tight, so we'll see what happens here coming back to the green.
Copy that, Sammy. Well, brother, yeah, keep doing exactly what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and we look forward to seeing you in victory lane.
Appreciate it, buddy.
And that was the 4 of Sammy Holmes here, getting the waiver on the pace car back to on the lead lap here. So he will be able to compete with these guys for position, but since they didn't pit in, 8th, Mike Taylor and Sammy Holmes himself do have, let's see, Sammy Holmes having 11 laps on his tires, Mike Taylor having 16. That's going to make a big difference, but hopefully he can get a quick caution so that they too can be able to pit in and be back on the same strategy as everybody else. But we are once again back to green, back 1 to green. 88 James Brown with the 24 of Blems on his rear end, that's 6 of Matrix with the 23 of Craig Hawkins on the outside line, going green this time by the 3 of Darrell Robertson, being shown 5th place side by side of the 60 of Carlton Lynn, 41 Chris Perez, 28 Eric Roberts, 93 Patrick Mercier, Jacques-Francois Champagne rounding up that top 10. That pace car dips off.
Looks like the 88 of James O'Brien is going to jump on that throttle, get out to a great start. As he looks like also the 24 of Corey Blevins is going to get a good run here. As Dale Robertson is also right behind him, with the 6 of Stephen Maddox there stuck on the outside, as he is being freight trained right now. As the 23 of Craig Hawkins also gets around him for that number 4 spot. But here comes the 6 of Maddox. He gets back down to the inside. He is going to challenge the 23 of Hawkins for the position coming off turn 4. Coming into line, it looks like Hawkins is going to hold on to it, but here comes Maddox. He is not giving up.
Yep, the 6th of Steven Matuk's textbook 101. Last lap on the exit of 2, actually entrance to 3. It did the crossover move against 23 of Craig Hawkins. And right now still going nice and strong, trying to challenge him for that 4th place position. And Craig Hawkins is very, very hungry. Austin very determined to take back the race lead because he did qualify on the pole tonight. And it didn't last long before the 5 of Jason Ashby took away from him.
Yeah, it didn't take long, and he wants to get back up there because the 5 is coming. He started 11th on this restart. It looks like he's already in the 8th position, and he's looking for the 41 of Chris Perez as his next target. I wouldn't be surprised if the 5 is up here, and then that's up at contending with Craig in the next 10 laps or so.
Well, Sean, while you guys were talking, the 24 of Corey Blevins was able to get around the 88 of James O'Brien. Corey Blevins leading his first lap here tonight. Here on lap 52, as he is our new race leader. Looks like the 88 of James O'Brien's not pushing as hard, just maybe trying to save a little bit of tires, letting Corey Blevins go out there, use up his stuff, and then be able to come back around him.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, trying to be conservative, or trying to conserve his tires so he can be able to be here for the long run. Unfortunately, we have lost one more driver. The 8 of Stephen Aguiar. Stephen Aguiar was involved in the incident that brought the first caution there. He did get a big impact in that during that wreck after making contact with 13 of Jacques-Francois and smacking the wall heavily. And that most likely did affect the performance of that machine, and it was under speed because of that. I look forward to seeing these drivers back again next week at Kentucky Speedway for the final race of the season, and that will be entitled Honoring Those Who Served 125.
Yeah, watching here, James O'Brien, he is falling back. Here comes the 23 of Craig Hawkins. He is at the back deck lid there of the 88 of James O'Brien. As he dives it down underneath, James O'Brien shuts that door, says, I don't think so, buddy. But Craig Hawkins is hungry, and look right behind him, there's the 6 of Stephen Maddox. He is just watching this battle and closing that gap here, letting them kind of race it out so that he can come up, but he is starting to catch on the 23.
Yeah, Maddox most likely trying to figure out a way to set these guys up in line. What I like about drivers like 28 of Eric Roberts here. Eric is riding for the back of the pack, being shown behind 41 of Chris Perez in the 9th place spot. Drivers like Eric usually like to ride. That's a way for them to study the drivers, their other opponents, and that way they do end up figuring out what their weaknesses and strengths are, and do pounce at the right moment and make the take away their positions at the very right time towards the end of the race. And this week, 28 of Roberts, he is catching the 41 of Perez. The caution flies here. Impact. We have drivers spinning every single direction possible. 24 of Corey Blevins, did get the wisdom of that deal, blew his motor. Let's back up on Blevins, see what happened.
Well, as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting replay here, is once we turned the cameras on, he was spinning. Looks like he was just turn 2, got another victim, and he was on his lid, and the cars had nowhere to go. We are going to have to ride in the in-car with the 24 of Corey Blevins here to get a good cockpit view here of what was going on. Coming into the turn he was riding, pushed real hard out of turn number 2, smacked that outside wall. He hit that inside wall, went up on his roof. Sean, you said these drivers like getting airtime? Well, looks like tonight the airtime is all on Corey Blevins.
Oh, absolutely. Man, that was some serious flight by Corey Blevins. Hopefully he's doing okay, and hopefully his pit crew has enough time to beat that machine out so he can be able to get back out there and challenge these guys for position. And once again, I've actually forgot to mention this earlier in tonight's race, but the drivers here at the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series do not have any backup cars. So if they do get wrecked out, like you've seen Corey Blevins, 48, or Michael Murphy, Ron McManus, Stephen Aguiar, they do have to stay on pit road and have their pit crew work on those machines to try and bring them out there. And even though if the pit crews bring the machines out on the track, that doesn't mean they'll be back up to speed. They'll most likely be under speed. So that's exactly what's happening so far. But 24 of Blevins is on pit road, getting some damage fixed as we speak. Everybody did go down pit road except for the 54 of Lance Marsh. Yep, Lance Marsh did stay out to lead a lap. Sammy Holmes stays out. So the A13 of Mike Taylor gonna be being shown 1, 2, 3.
Actually, Sean, the 4 of Sammy Holmes did go down pit road. I seen him coming off of pit road. He may have not went into his stall, but he may have been coming down thinking of a green flag pit strategy when that yellow came out and just thought better of it and rode straight through.
Oh, 10-4, that does make a lot of sense. It makes me wonder, Dave. He most likely did drive through because right now it's showing him with about 22 laps on his tires. So he will be going down pit road. Yes, he follows before of Lance Marsh down pit road. Lance Marsh getting that point for leading a lap, and that's going to hand over the lead back to the 88 of James. Actually, scratch that. That's the... I'm just going to wait until the cross start finish line to update. The 6 of Mattox taking over the race lead here. Away from the 88 of James O'Brien and 24 of Corey Blevins. And you have the 3 of Robertson in second place, Craig Hawkins third, James O'Brien fourth, and Jason Ashby in the 5th place spot. But right behind them is Robert second match of tonight here. The 93 of Patrick Mercer. He has been working his way towards the front every single lap. During those the green flag runs we just had, he is now being shown in the 6th place spot after starting 13th.
Yeah, it was looking like it was a fake out by Sammy going down the pit lane, but I think he wanted to either follow Lance or he might have not have his stuff checked, which is I've done a couple of times. And if you don't have anything checked, you're not going to get anything done on your car.
Oh, absolutely. He didn't want to risk losing that much time. Yep. That would be a smart move, a smart play by the driver here. And I'm trying to see if we're going to be coming to 1-2 green this time by. And Austin, we have a lot of powerful drivers here tonight for Texas Motor Speedway, for the Texas Motor Speedway race. Any favorites or anybody you think is going to be a very big threat and is most likely going to be bringing it home tonight?
I think the usual in PRL, you have to stay with your 88 of James. Craig Hawkins is really charging hard these last, 15 laps or so, the 23. But really, my eye's been on the 5. He's got a really good setup. I think this week, so I think he was able to do a lot of practice, get his stuff tweaked in. So that would be my top 3. I think I would go with Jason, James, and Craig are my top 3 picks.
Oh, 10-4. We're going to keep an eye on these drivers, and they do have to get around the 6 of Mattox. And I noticed Mattox, what I noticed about Mattox in tonight's race, early on, he was not pushing it. He was just pretty much riding, getting used to the track, getting comfortable with the machine on the racing surface. And now he has seemed to have been comfortable. So he most likely will be trying his best to lead as many laps as possible while trying to hold off the 3 of Dale Robertson here. But the outside line is the worst place to be on a restart. So these drivers will try and be on their A game to try and fall back to that inside line before, as soon as they get the chance to avoid losing more spots. And absolutely, Tim, we do agree with you. I see you there typing the chat. And you, Dave. Well, the pace car here dips off. That 6 of Mattox down the floor. He does catch him off guard. This 3 of Robertson there has the 23 of Hawkins on his inside, but 3 of Robertson powers off there and will clear him entering turn 1. 88 James O'Brien left out high and dry here trying to overtake the 23 of Hawkins, but Hawkins has a preferred race groove entering turns number 1 and 2 and off turn 2. Let's see who has it. Oh, Craig Hawkins' rear end almost snapped out, but he was able to keep that under control. And entering turn 3, he does finally clear the 88 of James O'Brien, who has a choice to fall back to the inside line. So avoid losing more spots, more time, more momentum. But he has a 5 of Jason Ashby right on his rear end here, and that's going to be for the 4th place position. Uh-oh, look at that, Dave. We have a new threat here. The 93 of Patrick Mercier here riding very close to 5 of Jason Ashby. And I'm pretty sure once Jason starts making moves, the Mercier will try and follow his line, try and clear the 88 of James O'Brien as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. James just doesn't look to be running as fast as he was earlier, as he is now dropping back here into 4th position. But then again, it could be a mind game. Could just be him toying with him and just saving his tires. Also want to give a shout out Eddie Hawks out there from Calgary, Canada. So Eddie Hawks, hope you're enjoying your time there in Canada.
Dang it, Eddie, we miss you at the racetrack here, man. I will look forward to seeing you again back next week at Kentucky. The race is not the same without you, buddy. Yep, going back to race 23 of Hawkins here, trying to challenge the 3 of Robertson. They'll be side by side with the backstretch, entering turn 3. He just might have him. Yes, it finally clears him, and Robertson will fall back in line here to try and get back in the groove, get back up to speed, and hold up the 88 of James O'Brien for that 3rd place position. But up front, the 6 of Mattis has increased his lead to about 0.5 of a second, half a second, against 2nd place driver 23 of Craig Hawkins.
Well, dropping back here. Here comes the 5 of Jason Ashby. He's diving it down, getting down underneath the 88 of James O'Brien. Oh, the back end snaps. He saves it, keeps it going. Going to slow him down as the 93 of Patrick Mercier had nowhere to go and gave him a little tap there. But they keep it going. But here comes the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne on the inside. He is going to bring the 93. No, Jason Ashby. Yep. 93 here on the out inside of Jason Ashby.
Mercier right now with a power move here, trying to follow 13 of Jean-Francois. The 5 of Ashby finally cleared and falls back in line behind Mercier. But the 5 of Ashby almost did the over and under on him on the exit of 4, but was not close enough to make a difference or to make that work. And as much as they fall back in line, and by the looks of it, Dave, the 5 of Ashby is doing good in the turns, but on the straights he is lagging back a little bit because of the damage.
Yeah, I don't know if he's able to time to fix that damage yet. If he has, I just don't know how significant it was. But that damage could be playing effect. As being right around the halfway point, wouldn't be surprised if he's just going to calm himself down, recompose himself, get a feel for the setup or even the new setup now that he has that damage, and just try to work his way back up to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be the case. Yep, right now, most likely doing that, what you're talking about. You're just pretty much getting used to everything, readapting, and Will Pounce in the later stage after losing his teammate, the 8 of Steve McGuire. Very unfortunate. So now it's all up to him. It's all in his hands. And speaking of Jason Ashby here, starting tonight's race, being 8th place in points, moving from 7th place last week down to 8th this week. So he is really trying his best to get up there before the next race, the final race of the season at Kentucky Speedway for the honoring those who served 125. Well, this is now lap number 69. This now gives us, let's see how many laps to go. This gives us 56 laps remaining. So we take our first commercial break of tonight's race, so you guys can get your first round of popcorn and refreshments, and so we can thank our sponsors. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed your commercial break and had a refill of your popcorn and refreshments. We are now back here to the race, continuing with the Texas Motor Speedway journey with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, courtesy of HighTorqueTexas.com and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com. And High Torque is on the top left of your screen, and the brake mod on the top right of your screen, thanks to Dave Everly with the Dre Broadcasting Network. Going back to the race, still have the 6 of Steven Mattox in the lead, half a second ahead of the 3 of Robertson for second place. 23 Craig Hawkins being shown third, about 7/10 behind Steven Mattox for the lead. Actually, scratch that, that just changed. Craig Hawkins being bumped down to 4th place after James O'Brien just overtook him 2 seconds ago. And James is now being shown as second behind the 6 of Steven Mattox. And for the back in the pack here, we do have the 4 of Sammy Holmes trying to catch 54 of Lance Marsh here for the 11th place spot. A13 Mike Taylor back on the lead lap, just got off pit road and is now getting back on the racing surface, trying to make up as much time as he can.
Actually, Sean, the 813 of Mike Taylor is 1 lap down after going down on pit road. So he is the first car here in this stint to do a green flag pit stop. And looking like all the other drivers are right about 22 to 24 laps on their tires. 24, 25. So we should probably see about maybe 1 or 2 more pit stops here tonight.
Yep, that's absolutely right. And Mike Taylor seemed to have put it in very early, Austin. I'm not sure if how good that's going to play out for him in the long run. That might cause him to, I mean, since he's pitting in this early, he will suffer in the long run because those drivers who pitted in later will have newer tires compared to him, so he might be at a big disadvantage, but most likely hoping for a caution.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He might just be hoping for a caution to come out later in the race, probably around lap 100 or 110 or so. Try to mix up the field, maybe he can go ahead and pit with a couple other people, get everybody on the same tires, and hopefully get up to the front. But it is definitely weird for him.
Oh, most definitely. But right now he is still going nice and strong. And once everybody else pits in for the second time for the second green flag run, once the second round of green flag pit stops cycle through, he should be able to get his lap back and most likely advance his spot from where he currently is standing at the moment. And right now the leaders do have 28 laps on their tires. The last run we saw, the first round of green flag pit stops, the earliest drivers pitted in was lap 27, but so far nobody's choosing to go down the pit road. They are still staying out. So Lance Marsh, the 54, has 27 laps on his tires this far. But up front, Robertson did take over the race. I just now saw that Robertson take over the race, lead away from the 6 of Steven Mattox here on lap number 86. And we have lost one more driver at 24 of Corey Blevins.
Yeah, unfortunately there for the 24 of Corey Blevins. He had a great stint out there leading. Just one simple mistake. As we know in racing, you make one mistake, it could cost you your race in a flash.
Oh, correctly said. And we do have some green flag pit stops taking place as we speak. Previous leader 6, Steven Mattox, down pit road this time by with 30 laps on his tires. And it's only a matter of time before everybody else follows his lead. Austin?
Yeah, it's actually re-looking at it. The 6 comes in and it hits the turn 4 wall and blows his motor and comes down pit road. So his pit crew's going to go to work on just more than his tires and fuel. Looks like he actually blew his motor.
Well, we are going to try to rewind that back here on our Dre Broadcasting Instant Replay. Yeah, looks like coming through the turn, he gets down low, pushes up into the turn 4 wall. Yep, motor blows and he brings it down on pit road. Unfortunately, speeding too, but yeah, that's going to put a real big damper as he right now has led the most laps here tonight.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate indeed for 6 of Mattox. I was thinking that was a scheduled pit stop. I actually didn't see him hit that wall, but I am glad that you guys were able to catch that on replay as well. So an unscheduled pit stop for 6 of Mattox, and we'll be staying on pit road for a very long time to get the damage fixed because his motor was smoking heavily, and that black smoke is very ugly. for these machines. But going back up front now, the leaders are coming on to 33 laps on their tanks from the last time they last pitted in. And for the back in the pack, 13 of Jacques-Francois making some headway, being shown in 7th place, 2 seconds behind the 60 of Colton Lane. And Colton Lane is about, let's see, 2.8 seconds ahead of the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne. 41 Chris Perez being shown 8th place, 28 Eric Roberts 9th, before Lance Marsh 10th, and that currently does round up our top 10 with the 4 of Sammy Holmes in 11th place, being the last car on the lead lap. But so far, up front, David and Phil Mercer has moved up to 2nd place, away from the 88 of James O'Brien.
Well, Sean, I think I know what they're doing. Taking a look here, we got 35 laps to go. These guys have 34 laps on their tires. I think they're trying to push it to be able to make this on one more pit stop. So these guys are staying out, pushing it to the max here, as it looks like James O'Brien is going to back it down, come down onto pit road. He is going to bring the 5 of Jason Ashby with him. But I think these guys are trying to extend it here to make it on just one more pit stop.
Oh, yep. Now that you mentioned it, that's exactly right. And we have a lot of drivers down pit road now with 35 laps on their tires. James O'Brien, Jason Ashby, Lance Marsh, Sammy Holmes, Mike Taylor. Oh, no, Mike Taylor's already pitted in. Yep, all these drivers down pit road this time by only leaving the top 7 drivers left to pit in. Top 7, namely Darrell Robertson, Patrick Mercier, Craig Hawkins going down pit road, Colton Lane, Jacques-Francois, Chris Perez, and Eric Roberts. So Eric Roberts, Craig Hawkins going down pit road this time by, but the leader is now going on to 36 laps on their tires. So it's only a matter of time before the drivers go down pit road. Yeah, 93 Mercer backing it down this time by, pitting in as we speak.
Also the 3 of Dale Robertson down on pit road here. 60 of Colton Lane coming in a little hot. He smokes his tires there on the entry. He is down on pit road, so I think we are just waiting on the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne and the 41 of Chris Perez are the ones that still need to pit with 37 laps on their tires.
Looks like Chris Perez is going down low. Looks like he's going to show that he's going to pit this time. Another thing that's going back to the retired cars today, it looks like I would not want to be the leader, Dale Robertson, right now. It looks like 3 of our 5 retired cars have actually blown their motors. So I would not want to be a past leader of the race. They all have blown their motors today. That's not good. It's not a good sign.
Oh man, I am glad that you figured that out. 3 of the 5 retired machines blew their motors. That is a very, very rough night for every single driver involved. But now this has cycled out all the pit stops with the 13 of Jacques-Francois down pit road here, being the last machine to pit in, and being the last machine to previous race lead, I should say. The 60 of Colton Lane here being shot in 7th place position and going back up front. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the next driver in line for position for the lead.
That is going to be the 3 of Dale Robertson. He has got James O'Brien right there in second, right about 6/10 behind him. 3rd place is going to be Patrick Mercier, but Mercier has got Jason Ashby right behind him. That is also going to move Colton Lane up into the top 5, running in the 5th position.
Looking in the chat there, we do have Timothy Petito. Will play a factor. Absolutely, Tim, you are absolutely correct. Yep, it's gonna come down to fuel, and these drivers pretty much saving tires for the long run, just so they can be able to stay consistent. At the same time, consistency will play a very key factor as well, side by side with the fuel saving strategies. But they most likely will. Yeah, they won't be needing to save gas, just like David talked about. They should be able to make it. The drivers will put in with about 35 laps remaining. But if they will be short, that would mean they will be short only 1 lap. But we're gonna have to see. So fingers crossed for these drivers. They should be able to make it. But going back up front, Robertson now catching up to the back of the pack. A13 Mike Taylor staying high here to let him by. And holy cow, I just now noticed this, but A13 of Taylor has sustained a lot of damage. After the last time we checked on him, his rear end is dinged up, and so is his right side.
Yeah, we are riding here on the side view of Patrick Mercier, the left rear suspension there. Taking a look at Jason Ashby right behind him. He is kind of moving around here, not really pushing it, but he is looking for that opening here as they are. We are now just 27 laps remaining here at Texas.
And Sean, just remind you earlier, we were talking about how Jason was kind of falling back a little bit. Now he's making his charge back up to the front. He's able to get that damage fixed, it looks like, get his setup redialed back in, and he's making his charge up back to the front.
Oh, absolutely, yep. Jason was able to adapt to that machine's new setup, or I should say readapt to the setup, and now trying to use the Nitro Mercier as well to catch up to the two leaders, James O'Brien and Dale Robertson. And going up front here to Robertson and O'Brien, they are spread out about, they're battling as we speak. The three of Robertson here blocking the 88 of James O'Brien here, defending his spot, doing what he has to do to maintain his race lead here. That's exactly what it takes to be successful with a track like this, with a machine like 88 of James O'Brien being all over your rearview mirror. And Robertson right now doing an amazing job so far, doing all he can to maintain that spot. But holy cow, that was quite the move by Robertson.
Yeah, Dale's just trying to protect that lead. I think he knows once James gets past him, he might be able to put, a couple of seconds in between them. He wants to keep him behind him as long as he can.
And early on, we did notice how James O'Brien was kind of falling off the pace, and Dave did conclude that he was most likely saving tires, and that was absolutely the case, because right now he is all over the three of Robertson. Robertson on the inside line to defend his spot, because it is very difficult, nearly impossible, to make a pass on the outside line. But O'Brien backs off, has a sweet entry to turn number 3, and is going to have a good exit as well off turn 4 by through Robertson. Still going nice and strong here. The gap is now about, let's see, still now has gone up to 0.2 of a second. And we have one driver retiring for the night at 8:13 of Mike Taylor. And once again, we look forward to seeing all these drivers back again for the honoring those who served 125 at Kentucky Speedway next week.
Also, Sean, I want to take his time here. We've got 23 laps remaining here at Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the season is coming to a close here for the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. If this is a series that you would be interested in racing, getting to know these guys, they are going to be holding some recruitment races after next week's race for a couple of weeks. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, the new season will start on July 30th. You will have your chance to race your way in and race with these guys. What you need to do is go to www.precisionracingleague.com, send them a message. They will tell you what you need to do, where you need to be, what time the recruitment races are. You'll get in, have a chance to prove yourself to them, and you could be seeing yourself broadcasted live by Dre Broadcasting, as we are also proud to announce that we are being retained by Precision Racing League to bring you all of the live action from the American iRacing Sunday Series Season 7 starting at the end of July.
And thank you, Dave. Dave and Sean, you guys do a great job for us at PRL. But yes, we are holding our recruitment races and our race your way in races. As Dave said, just go to our website and you will see there how to, or just go ahead and give us a message. We will let you know when the dates and times are for our race your in races. And that way, hopefully, you guys can be broadcasted on here and have Sean say your name and hopefully get in the winner's circle with us. But I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys. You guys do a great job, great performance for us, and make us look even better. Just want to say thank you, guys.
Oh, absolutely, Austin. Thank you for having us. It's been an honor having Dre Broadcasting on board with the PRL League for multiple seasons now. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you'd like to be a part of this is amazing action. We have had a lot of great races every single season. We've had a lot of battles, a lot of champions trying to defend their spots. And by the looks of it here, we might have a new champion. But once again, Precision Racing League, precisionracingleague.com for everything that you need to know. And also want to thank HighTorqueTexas.com for the sponsorship, and also the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com. Thank you, Paul D. Johnson and 13 of Jacques-Francois Champagne for making sure the sponsors did come on board. Going back here to the race, we are now, let's see, 17 laps remaining, less than 20 laps remaining in tonight's race. 109 laps completed, 17 laps to go. No more pit stops, no more required pit stops for the drivers. Well, fingers crossed, no more required pit stops for Yepi. Will be very, very close on gas for these drivers. And they're most likely hoping for a caution so they can be able to just bunch this field up. And honestly, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of drivers, a lot of amazing drivers here have found themselves for the back in the pack, like 28 Eric Roberts, Chris Perez, Lance Marsh, Sammy Holmes. These drivers are hoping for a caution so they can be able to just get bunched up and compete for the lead with everybody else.
Yeah, they either had a bad pit stop, a long pit stop, or they just got shuffled back in the pack or waited too long. Like how you were saying earlier, they just kind of wait back and look to see how the field's gonna react or how the race is going to start going. Well, if you wait too long, then you kind of lose the draft and lose track position. So if that's kind of the downside. I think that happened to some of these guys. So they do need a caution to get bunched back up. As you see the leaders passing Sammy Holmes to put him actually just his first lap down the race.
Oh, that's absolutely nicely said. And I'm also going for the back of the pack here, Austin, the 41 of Chris Perez. Man, this driver, like I talked about at the beginning of the race, he's always in the back of the pack and always finds his way up to the front later on in the later stages of the race. And what I noticed about Austin this whole entire season, Austin, is that he always has the cleanest car at the end of every single race and always finishes up in the top 10 and top 5.
Yeah, Chris is one of...
Oh, you broke up there, Austin?
Sorry, he just kind of rides in the back, kind of hangs out, and waits for all the crashes, cautions, everything to kind of cycle through, and he's there at the end, just trying to avoid everything, keep his car clean. Kind of like what you do at plate tracks, Daytona, Talladega. Especially it's Daytona week right now. You just kind of survive and advance through those cautions, and hopefully you're there at the end. So if any of your iRacing fans are out there watching right now, which I'm sure there are some out there, it's Daytona week, you're just trying to survive until you're there for the last 10 laps and go racing. And that's exactly what Chris does.
Oh, absolutely, and just goes to show how it works out well for him, because he's always been very successful with the PRL this season for the American iRacing Sunday Series. Same with the 28 of Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts right now trying to charge his next victim in line for position is the 13 of Jacques-Francois, and so far they are spread out about, let's see, 3.9 seconds. Yeah, 3.9 seconds apart. So he is trying his best to catch up to him here. He is running out of time. And 13 of Jacques-Francois will keep his hammer down the floor. But look at that, the 41 of Perez is now all over the 28 of Roberts. And Eric Roberts has sustained some right front damage on that machine, that Chevy Camaro. But it's still going that strong. The 41 of Perez tries to make the pass on the outside and trying to set him up here. Trying to play some mind games with him. But entering turn 1, 41 of Perez does drift way high. Goes back down low to get back in the race groove. The fastest race groove. Oh, the 28 of Roberts attacks the wall. The wall does suck him in. He is able to jerk that wheel to the left to make sure that the wall lets go of his machine, and that will make the 41 Perez benefit from the 28 of Robert right there. That bumps Robert down to, let's see, 9th, and Perez up into the 8th place position. And we now have 10 laps remaining here before the race is over. But going back up front, Dale Robertson has increased his lead to 1.7 seconds against second place driver 88 of James O'Brien. But James O'Brien here is not comfortable. He doesn't have a Sunday drive so far because he has a driver pushing his rear end. It's a 93 of Patrick Mercier.
Yeah, I was just watching them, and Dale's pulled out that 1.5 second, 1.7 second lead right now, and Patrick was actually all over James O'Brien until he got into turn 2, just surfed it up, and he was able to hold it up there. But James O'Brien is under a lot of fire. I don't know if he's was trying too hard to pass Dale early on, and Dale was able to hold him off like he was, and he just burnt off all of his tires. But it is interesting how he's not able to be up there like he usually is.
Yeah, I think I agree with Austin. I think the 88 of James O'Brien really burned his stuff up trying to get around the 3 of Dale Robertson. Well, looking at my stats here, Dale Robertson has taken over the lead of most laps. He has led 33 laps tonight with the 6 of Stephen Maddox, leading 26, Jason Ashby, leading 25, and James O'Brien leading 14. So Dale Robertson is putting him in himself in a good position here, as he is now 2.4 seconds ahead of James O'Brien. But I tell you, James O'Brien, he has got the 93 of Patrick Mercier once again all up in that rear view mirror. So James O'Brien just trying to hold on to that second spot. I don't know if the 93 of Patrick Mercier has it in him to be able to get around him.
As the 93 just taps the wall right there. Yep.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yep, his right rear did smack that wall quite a little bit. It wasn't too bad, actually. He was able to minimize that by letting off the gas and letting it rotate. But that will benefit James O'Brien. Looking at these two, the top three drivers so far, Dale Robertson has 28 laps on his tires, 2 laps less than James O'Brien. At the same time, Patrick Mercier has, let's see, 28 laps on his tires as well. Yep, so it looks like James O'Brien does have 2 laps more on his tires compared to Robertson. And Patrick Mercier is sandwiched right in between these two drivers. And we now have, let's see, 4 laps remaining here before the end of tonight's race. Dale Robertson here with an amazing race all race long. Great powerful machine here tonight, doing his team proud. And for the back to 60 of Carlton Lane here, being shown at 4th place spot, trying to hold off the 23 of Hawkins, but he's now they're spread out about, let's see, 0.8 of a second apart from each other. So Craig is trying his best to get up to 60 of Carlton Lane here in the next 3 laps, so he can be able to make a difference in the spot.
Well, taking a look at our late race report, we have had 2 cautions here at Texas Motor Speedway in 125 laps. Next flag will end the race, ladies and gentlemen. We have 13 lead changes. Fastest lap time of the night was put down by the 23 of Craig Hawkins with a 27.491. So he has got the fastest lap of the night. But we are now 3 laps to go as Dale Robertson comes across the start-finish line. 2 laps to go. Next time around, he will get the white flag.
Going for the back of the pack here, we have these drivers are very spread out. That just goes to show how much green flag pit stops do separate or spread out the field. The 13 of Jacques Francois being shown, let's see, 4 seconds, 4 seconds ahead of the 41 of Chris Perez. At the same time, Chris Perez being shown 3 seconds, actually now 4 seconds ahead of the 28 of Eric Roberts. The closest drivers so far here would be the 93 of Mercier and the 88 of James O'Brien. Looking at it right now, Patrick has dropped a lot. He has lost a lot of time to the 88 of James O'Brien.
Yep, and it looks like Dale's going to be coming up to his white flag. I believe this would be his first one of the year if he can just hold on for... Well, actually, the race is over. My apologies.
Yep, the race is over. Yeah, I was confused there for a second as well. But Dale Robertson does bring this thing home with his first win of the season. Great job here. 88 James O'Brien coming out 2nd. Patrick Mercier 3rd. Carlton Lane 4th. And the 23 of Craig Hawkins being shown in that 5th place spot. Rounding up the top 5. Jason Ashby 6th. Jacques Francois 7th. Chris Perez 8th. Let's see, 28 Eric Roberts 9th. First start finish line this time by. And Lance Marsh in the 10th place position. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be interviewing the top 3 drivers: Dale Robertson, James O'Brien, and Patrick Mercier. So stay tuned. Right now, we do watch the 3 of Robertson doing some donuts. He did earn it.
This might be a preview for us for next year if we do go to open. If we do go to open setups for next year, Dale could be a solid contender for next year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he did have a very, very fast machine tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined by the top 2 drivers and the 60 of Carlton Lane finishing in the 4th place spot. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a word in with the 93 of Patrick Mercier, but we'll start with tonight's race winner, Dale Robertson, representing Voltage Racing for his first win of the season here. Very amazing job on his part tonight. Get a cup there, Dale?
Yeah, I got you.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Well, how you think?
Oh man, I'm thinking you pretty much want to just jump out of your racing seat out there and go out there and celebrate and Dale tonight. We didn't see too much of you in the beginning of the race. We saw you just pretty much taking it easy, buying your time, getting used to the machine, and then pouncing on later on in the race and leading the most laps of tonight's race. I want to congratulate you on that. But how's your race tonight?
I thought it was pretty good. Started, I think, back of the top 10. Kept going pretty good, I guess. And at the second last stint, I decided, you know what, I might as well just see if pushing my tires works out pretty well, and I guess it did, because I managed to get a good gap at the end of that stint, and managed to get a good gap at the last stint. So yeah, I think it went pretty well.
Oh, copy that. Very, very glad to hear that, Dale. And Dale, tell us about your setup tonight, because you did seem to have the very, very fast machine there. We saw the 88 of James O'Brien approach your rear view. You did an amazing job of defending your position, and I believe 2 laps after that, Dale Robertson did fall off. I mean, James O'Brien did fall off the pace from fighting too hard. Tell us about your setup tonight.
Well, I've been working on it for the past 2 or 3 weeks now, and you know, I made it to be a long run car. I really didn't think I'd be good at the start of the run, so it kind of surprised me at the second last stint when I was able to, you know, kind of pull away. Well, not really early, but at the end it even kind of surprised me.
Oh, copy that. And Dale, how do you handle the pressure of James O'Brien being all over your rearview mirror like that? Because, you know, he's a very fast driver and a very big threat in terms of competition to most, to almost the whole entire field. But how do you handle that?
It was difficult, I'll tell you that. I had to make a couple big blocks that I don't usually do. But, you know, it was difficult. Yeah.
Oh man, we are glad that you were able to hold him off and bring this thing home tonight, having your first win of the season. At one point, while blocking him, defending your spot, you notice you went to the inside line, and entering a turn from the inside is a very, very bad thing at a track like this, because it's you do end up pushing on the exit, but you were able to still maintain your momentum and stay consistent for the whole entire race. So, but congratulations you on your first win of the season, leading the most laps here in tonight's race, and look forward to seeing you again at Kentucky Speedway. Speaking of Kentucky, how much experience do you have at Kentucky?
We went there a couple seasons ago. I don't remember if I did too well, but it's a mile and a half that's kind of less banked. I hope it's fun. I don't know how good I'll do, but
well, but look forward to seeing you again next week. Once again, like I talked about, at Kentucky Speedway, and doing Voltage Racing proud. You're having your first win of the season and your third top 5. So look forward to seeing you again next week, and go celebrate, buddy. You earned it.
All right, thank you.
And that was the 3 of Dale Robertson here, having his first win of the season at the right time. Here with round number 11 of 12, but right behind him here is the 88 of James O'Brien, one of the top picks of who was going to be the winner tonight of Austin Moore, finishing in the second place spot. Good up there, James.
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Not too bad. A lot better than I thought I would finish, that's for sure.
10-4. And James, in tonight's race, we noticed in the beginning that you were kind of falling off the pace here and there, just letting everybody get around you and not really pushing the issues so much. But then after the second round of green flag pit stops, you somehow must have found 5th gear. Tell us about that.
Honestly, I was still working on the setup during the race. I started making the setup 2 hours before the race, so I didn't have a lot of time to use it and practice with it. So it would get tight on me longer in the run. It would get loose on me at certain points. So I had to kind of adjust in what I wanted it to do during the race. It was quite fast on the long run. Near the end, I didn't want to really push the issue with Dale, so I just kind of let off and let him go, because I'm trying to get the championship, so I didn't want to risk anything. So I know he really wanted to win, and he deserves it. So, and he was blocking me real hard. So after that, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna cruise at the end. But yeah, during the whole race, it was just more me learning what I could do with the car, honestly.
Oh, 10-4. And yeah, we noticed that last run that actually you and Dale had a 2-lap difference on your tires. He had about, what was the time we're checking on that? He had he had 28 laps and you had 30 laps on your tires. At the same time, Patrick Mercer, who was behind you, had 28 laps, 2 laps less than you did. So you sandwiched in between drivers who had 2 laps less on tires than you did. And thinking about the whole race tonight, your whole summary, do you think you've done anything differently to maybe advance your spot?
Honestly, I can't really think of anything. Everything went pretty smooth. I just wish I had more time to mess with the setup. If I had probably another like a week of prep like most of the guys, I probably would have been a little better off. But they were real fast. I was struggling at the practice before the race. Like I thought I was just not going to have anything and just pull a fixed setup out and just cruise and hope I finish. But to me, this is a win because I finished better than I expected. And, it was a lot of fun seeing a lot of guys that you don't normally see up front be really successful and building a setup like that. And it shows that Dale's win, that dedication takes precedence because he said he's been working on it for a long while now.
Oh, copy that, James. So, buddy, we are glad that you were able to hold off other opponents in tonight's race, securing yourself in second place position. Also defending yourself on a big threat in the late stage of the race here tonight, and through Patrick Mercier. And this now gives you, let's see, this gives you your 5th top 5. You've had 7 pole positions. Once again, congratulations on that, and 2 wins this far as well this season. So that's very impressive. Doing Underdog Motorsports, very proud. Oh, but before you go, any final words?
Just thank you guys for broadcasting again, and to all the men and women that serve our country to celebrate our freedom this weekend. And I guess it's on a Tuesday this year, so it's a little boring, but yeah, I know I'm not ballsy enough to go out and serve my country, so I'm gonna have to just praise the men and women that do.
Well, buddy, congratulations once again on your success tonight. After starting the 5th place spot and finishing in the 2nd place position behind Dale Robertson. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next week for the final race of the season. And man, you have had quite the season this season, James. You lost the championship to the one of Pataska, but by the looks of it, you will be able to take it away this season from the one of Pataska. So I want to congratulate you on that and look forward to seeing how the results play out after next week's race at Kentucky Speedway. Have a good one, buddy, and go celebrate.
Thank you. All right, have a good night, guys.
And that was 88 James O'Brien representing Underdog Motorsports and currently our season standings leader. But right behind him is the 60 of Colton Lane. Gonna come up there, Colton?
Hi, you guys. What's going on?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Had a pretty good race, I guess, considering it was open and I don't really do setups, so.
Oh, 10-4 and Colton. You've been doing Ford Lane Motorsports proud here, sneaking into the 5th place position in points, starting tonight's race. And man, you did do an amazing job of staying alive tonight. The track was very, very slick in the beginning, and you guys did adapt to it quite well. But tell us about your race tonight.
Well, I really didn't know what I had going into it because, like, you know, James was even talking about it. Everybody was just super quick. I didn't think I had a setup for it, but it seems that either A, people ran the tires off too early, or their setup just fell off along with the tire fall off, even if they saved it. So we also had a couple people had bad accidents. Steven Aguiar was quick, Steven Maddox was quick, so was Corey Blevins. So sucks that they had trouble, but it worked out well for me.
Oh, 10-4, buddy. We are glad to hear about that. And man, you did an amazing job. Kept a low profile in the beginning of the race, but then after having a lot of success and almost speeding your last round of green flag pit stops, and you almost speeding there, you did make up a lot of time on pit road. and wasn't caught speeding because you were able to back it down in time rather than smoking your tires. So I want to commend you on that, and finishing in the 4th place spot and holding off 23 Craig Hawkins, 5 of Jason Ashby, 13 Jacques-Francois, Chris Perez, Eric Roberts. Those are very fast drivers. But tell us about green flag pit stops tonight, buddy.
I like green flag pit stops. I like to think I get an edge on them because I can try to go in quicker. Like you said, I did just about mess up pretty bad. I think I went in at probably like 53 or 52 miles an hour, but I guess the game was like, whatever, it's okay. you sped, but it's all right, I guess, unless it's just what it looked like on my screen. But I think green flag pit stops separate out the field a little bit, who can come in the quickest. It's like Kyle Busch in real life. He's one of the best when it comes to it. So I know I'm not the best at it, but I feel like that's one thing that I like to work on throughout the week when we go to a new track to see how quick you can get on pit road.
Oh, copy that. Well, but look forward to seeing you again doing the exact same thing at Kentucky Speedway. Speaking of Kentucky, brother, how much experience do you have at that track, and what should we expect to see from you?
Well, like Dale said, we went there last year, or the year before last, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be here next week, so I'm going to miss the race. Sucks, like Jeffrey said in the chat. We're second in points right now, so there would have been a fight for the team championship, but unfortunately, since I won't be here, probably going to drop off. Maybe I can still manage the top 5 in points since Corey and Markel had trouble, but it's a fun track. If I remember the last time we went there, a lot of people tried pitting like 10 laps early, and people stayed out. Like James O'Brien stayed out, a couple other quick guys, and they just gapped them because people ran off their tires, and they had to make like an extra pit stop. So.
Oh, 10-4, Colton. Well, we first started here about you missing next week's race at Kentucky, and congratulate you on moving up in points here once again, starting in the 5th position in points after tonight's race. Also, last week you were 5th in points and rocking that Lily Diabetes paint scheme. You want to tell us a little bit about the paint scheme, buddy?
Well, I'm diabetic myself. I've been that way for about 10, 11 years, since 2006, and kind of like Ryan Reed as a driver, so figure I might as well, ride out in the colors with it. You got the little flag on the background for the 4th of July. Hope everybody's going to have a good one. Speaking of 4th of July and people having a good one, Sammy Holmes is back from his deployment. It's nice to have him back, so.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, good to see Sammy Holmes back, and yeah, very good thing you're doing out there, rocking that very well painted Lily Diabetes paint scheme. And Colton, I want to congratulate you once again on your success this season. This far, you've come a long way, Colton, and you are the we saw you speed once at pit road a couple once this season, which did cost you a lot of time. I believe that was Indianapolis, if I'm not too wrong, but you were able to make up for it here tonight after having a very amazing pit stop and made up a lot of positions, a lot of time. And once again, congratulations, but I look forward to seeing you again next season. Hopefully you'll be back next season so we can race together again.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be back next season, guys.
I'll see you again, buddy. Well, that was Colton Lane finishing in the 4th place spot. Unfortunately, we won't get awarded with the 93 of Patrick Mercier. But that does round up our interviews here tonight. It was an amazing race. And Austin, thank you for joining us. It was Battlefield. We saw a lot of green flag pit stops, a lot of battles throughout the racing surface. And it really came down to Darrell Robertson with a late race charge and leading the most laps here tonight and having his first win of the season. Very impressive.
Yes, indeed it was. I think the turning point in that race was Dale being able to get that block on James and being able to hold him off for those 5 laps that James was really pushing until James made the champion move that he did and just said, I'll let Dale have that win. He won that battle, but hopefully I can win this war, this championship.
Oh, 10-4, and man, yep, that was an amazing race indeed. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway for round number 11 of 12. And next race will be next week at Kentucky Speedway, and that will be entitled Honoring Those Who Served 125. Well, if you guys liked what you saw here tonight with the Precision Racing League, be sure to check them out at precisionracingleague.com. Also want to thank our sponsors, HighTorqueTexas.com and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com for sponsoring the whole entire season, a 12-race season. And want to thank every single driver for showing up. Also want to thank Precision Racing League for having Dre Broadcasting on board. Well, Dave, any final thoughts?
Well, Sean, we had a blast out here. Only 2 cautions and 125 laps. We saw battles all over the track, green flag pit stops. I think we've seen everything tonight. This is definitely going to shake things up. I can't wait till next week to see who is going to be crowned the Season 6 champion.
Oh yeah, that will build up some serious hype for that. Last season's champion, one of Pataska, has missed a couple of races, which has bumped him down. At the beginning of this race, he was 9th, and since he missed tonight's race, he will be bumped down even further. Very unfortunate indeed for Dallas. By James O'Brien benefiting from that. Corey Blevin 2nd, Jeffrey Ford 3rd, starting tonight's race. Markel 4th, and Colton Lane 5th. And if you guys like what you saw tonight, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get notified every single time we go live. For those watching on the iRacing portal, be sure to check us out at youtube.com/Dre Broadcast Network, and also Dre Broadcast Network on Facebook. Well, thank you for joining us once again. Next race will be at Kentucky Speedway next week for honoring those who served 125. I was joined by Dave Everly and Austin Moore. And the next broadcast we have, once again, that will be Sunday, because we are off this week due to the 4th of July weekend. So multiple leagues, Extreme Motorsports is off, Upper Edge Racing is off, and the Cyber Racing Association will be off as well on Saturday night. So see you guys again on Sunday. And if you guys like what you saw, once again, Dre Broadcasting, we do broadcast 6 nights a week from different tracks, different leagues, different drivers, different machines, and everything's different except for the excitement. It stays high and always gets nothing but higher every single race. Thanks for watching once again. Have a good night. See you next race.